if I say it, and it won't happen. I've said too many times I'm going to finish this right here and now, and it hasn't happened. It's game 3 of the World Series. I'm down 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Yu Darvish, I'm going to stick with him for one more inning. And just, God, hopefully I finish this.
Let's go down to the field with Heidi Watney for a report on what she took away from her talks with the players. Heidi?
Matt, they've started strong in this World Series, jumping to a commanding 2-0 lead, with the series now shifting to a new ballpark. When I asked these players for their outlook on Game 3, they emphasized not underestimating their opponent. As one player put it, we've got to be prepared for a counterpunch. Our opponent had a day to brew on Games 1.
Shit. I was reading that. Come back to me.
Left fielder.
And I guarantee they're going to come out ready to go. We've got to stay aggressive.
Hoping that I can get Darvish for this inning.
Ball one, no strike.
Is in to start things off as he looks at a ball to
I got
start
a ball,
the
one
inning.
strike.
1-1 the count. Now the pitch. Fly ball out toward left center field. Long run for the center fielder. He makes the play. A fine running catch to get the first out of the inning.
Up next for Oakland, the right fielder.
Now to the plate,
Steven
Piscotty. He got called out on strikes his last time through. No balls and a strike to count. Right by him here. He's set up for another strikeout here. The count to 0-2.
His slider's been impressive all night long. If he can continue spinning it like that, he's going to be
I meant to go
fine.
four-seamer again.
Ready with another 0-2. Got him. As he just continues to mow down these hitters. 13 strikeouts.
Call it a lack of faith in my bullpen, but yeah, I just don't want to go for
the catcher. Austin.
Darvish has been good.
Allen.
I think he gave up a home run to give up the lead.
Set with the 0-1. Boy, he comes back with a
I got the count.
He's dominating this at-bat. It's 0-2 now. Fouled away.
All right, Yu Darvish.
2 runs, 6
Last
hits,
batter here.
and no errors in the ballgame for the A's so far. And he's going to add to the total.
14 Ks.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Now pitching for the A's, number 57.
And here's the speedster, J.D. Gordon. He doubled his last time through. Hard liner, but
it never switched back to zone. I mean, I did, but it didn't save.
Man is set down to open up inning number 8.
The bat,
number 9,
shortstop,
and with it comes Javier Baez to the plate. First delivery to him on the way. Hit in the air to center field. Laureano is underneath this one. And there's the second out of the inning.
The batter,
Here's
the third baseman.
Now, who could really use a knock here. 0 for 3 in the game so far. Here comes the first pitch.
That's not a strike.
Called. Tough to do much with that one.
That's
yeah,
one of
because it's
those
not in the
pitches you
fucking
just
strike
float
zone
over
of that
the plate.
version.
99% of the time, the batter is taking at least the first pitch after 2 straight 1-pitch out, so you almost can underhand it up there.
A dive, but he can't get a glove on it. It's through for a base hit.
Nice execution right there, Dan. Kept his front shoulder in.
The batter,
kept his hands
the
inside the
designated hitter,
baseball and ripped the
Jorge
base.
If you're a pitcher
Soler.
right there, you can't get discouraged. Sometimes even when you make a good pitch, the ball's going to find a hole somewhere. That one right up the middle.
He's working on a 1-for-3 thus far. Now the 0-1. Hit back up the middle.
Nice.
He gets dirty, but he can't get there, and it's
Keep
into
the lineup
center
moving.
field.
Well, D-Roll, there's another base hit making it first
Now
and second.
batting.
They're piling
The
up
catcher,
hits on the day, but
Wilson
so far not many runs to
Contreras.
show for it.
Yeah, definitely a few knocks in the covered makes you feel good, and the batting average goes up, but that doesn't help you win ball games.
Solid
Somebody's
changeup.
got to
0-1.
come up
Split
with a
in
nice
there.
AD to
Something else
run
besides
from
changeup.
scoring position.
He's set. The 0-1.
Oh, let's go,
Swings,
Contreras.
and this is well hit to left. And they have
A huge
taken
3-run
the
shot.
lead.
You keep the lineup moving, and something will eventually happen.
So a 3-run blast
2
to
outs in the
straightaway
top of the
left.
8th.
As they take the lead, it's now 4-2.
Let's go.
This is going to be one of those moments we look back on in a couple of years when we relive
Get out
this
of here,
World
Fortnite
Series.
update.
That swing of the bat
I don't even
late in
play
the game
Fortnite.
to take the lead, huge blow.
Oh, that is such a huge home run.
Your
Okay,
attention, please.
I need to think
Now
about
They'll
pitching
make a
for the
matchup move
A's.
here and bring on a southpaw
Number
to face the
38.
left-handed hitter due up.
DJ McFarland.
I'm thinking I want a righty, so I'm going to Zach Britton. Damn, I got bug bites everywhere.
Anthony Rizzo stands in now.
Ooh, bad pitch.
And
this
there's
one.
a swing and
0-1's
a
the
miss and an
count.
off-speed pitch to start him out. Nothing in 1. He's 2 for 3 and looking for more here. The 0-1 on its way.
Ooh.
High fly ball out to straightaway center. Laureano will wait on it, and he will make the catch, so that'll do it.
It's like a motherfucker. Okay.
Bottom of the inning now, and next to
That was
bat,
one to leave you Darvish in.
The
but I'm not
center
gonna-
fielder, number
Go to Mills or
22.
Jeffries.
Even though we're moving into the back end of this game, they're
I gotta
only
go with the
down
guy I
by a
trust
couple
more.
of runs. You know that old slogan, a bloop and a blast?
From
They
2 and
can
lead a
certainly
one-up
use
row.
that right now.
Jeremy Jeffress is on to pitch out of the bullpen in the bottom half of the 8th. Line toward right center.
No, Hayward, you
Finds some
can't go down
outfield
like
grass.
that.
It's a base hit. Not in
He's
time.
safe.
He's in there with a double.
That's what you call a clutch piece of hitting. Down
The
two
batter,
runs, he puts
number
himself in
5,
scoring
second
position
baseman,
and brings the tying
Tony.
run to the plate. We'll see what they do with
Kemp.
the base open here. This
Hang on a second.
Catch made in
Oh, I hit the wrong
straightaway
button.
center as the runner tags from second.
Fuck me.
And he'll make it up to third safely here with 1 away.
The batter, number 10. Shortstop, Marcus.
Fastball too low
Jimmy,
here.
yeah.
It's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count.
Allergies are acting up too. Oh, that was a
And now
scary
he's in
swing.
a 1-2 hole.
Wait,
Laureano stands at third with 1 gun.
something
in the
just
inning.
dawned on me here.
Likely nothing up at third, but he'll step off and look him back anyway.
Now Wilson's on that.
And now we'll step
So,
off
no,
the
I
rubber
just
here and
realized he
just
was
look him
done.
back to
Okay.
third. Now about a
2 balls,
58-foot
2
breaking pitch
strikes.
that he wisely lays off here. Struck him out.
Big strikeout.
Struck him out again, I should say.
That's a
His
huge
third
strikeout,
punch
Jeremy
out of the
Jeffries.
game.
And you have faced 3 batters.
The
And
batter,
Take a
time is
mound
called
visit.
The
to
first
get
baseman.
to the mound.
Matt
Zach Britton is coming in.
Olsen. Your
So
attention,
the
left
please.
left-handed
lefty
hitter
matchup.
waiting, they'll
Now
go to their
pitching
own
for the
left-hander out of the
Chicago
bullpen.
Cubs. 0-1, number
Fooled him
53.
with that one as he's way
Zach.
out in front.
Richard.
He knows full well he's sitting on a hat trick right here. All he's trying to do is avoid the golden sombrero.
Got him.
Strikeout here
Huge.
yet again.
Fucking
It's been a
huge.
ball game to forget them.
Leading
All
off
set
for
for
the
the start
Cubs,
of the inning.
the left
Digging in
fielder,
is the outfielder.
Kyle
Hayward and half
Schwarber.
up. They're definitely going to keep the lefty in.
Just able to get a piece of that for strike one. The 0-1 on its way. This is pulled
Get
into
down.
right.
Let's go.
He lays out for it, but he can't pull it in.
Run, Kyle. Oh, Laureano's got a good arm.
Tries for third. The relay
Lead off
throw,
triple.
He's in there. He is in there with
Let's
a triple.
go.
And that's the chance you take when you
Up
lay
next
out
for
for
the
a ball
Cubs,
like that. You make the
the
play
center
and you're a
fielder.
hero on the
Come on, Ian
highlight
Happ.
reels.
This is a huge
This
at-bat
time,
for
you're
insurance
picking
right here.
yourself up and chasing after it.
And that'll bring in
Good
the
sinker.
Pittsburgh area native.
I hit
Ian
that ball.
Happ.
It's going right to one of
Strike
those
one
infielders
to
on the
start
left
the
side.
at-bat.
Get a heavy dose of those sinkers this at-bat, I'm sure. Oh, Ian Happ!
And there it goes. Deep to left field. Gone.
Not getting as many at-bats because you're my DH, or you're my only in when I have a DH. But boy,
It's
you
a
got to make use of them.
Shot to straightaway left. His first homer so far in the series as they open it up to 6-2
A huge
now.
home run
Well,
with
you
that.
Ladies
gotta
and
love
gentlemen,
seeing a team
your
that's never
attention, please.
satisfied. They were up,
Now
they've
pitching
extended
for
the
the
lead to an
Athletics.
even more
4-1 lead
comfortable
now, not even a
36.
safe situation. Kind of
Gonna
sucks.
use
I
Barrow.
can't
back for
use
this
but
one.
whatever.
Gets a
Putty.
piece of it, strike one.
Shahei's just so bad against lefties.
This is
His righties,
drilled,
he's pretty
but
solid.
right into the ship.
Just missed that one though.
Throw on
Got
the
it.
first, so a good comeback there as he gets the first out of the inning.
Now batting, the second baseman,
Here's
D.
D. Gordon now.
Gordon.
In previous matchups with Yusmeiro Petit, he's got 5 base hits in 18 at-bats. He also has
Drop
1
in.
home run. And that's into the outfield for a 1-out base hit.
It's a D. Gordon base knock. Get the heavy hitters up now.
now batting, the shortstop, Javier Baez.
And that brings up Javi Baez. So go
Ooh.
after the first pitch and bounce
Did
it
not
into
think that was
foul
gonna be that far off the
territory. Still only 1 out in the inning.
I'm about to end the inning with a double play.
Runners going. Line hard toward right center.
Oh, he's not getting there.
And that's into the gap and should be extra bases. Gordon is on his way home. He will score as they push the lead to 5 now.
Blow it open,
So
boys.
much of this
Blow
Now
it
game is
open.
batting,
situational
third
hitting,
baseman,
guys. Nice
Chris.
job there.
Yeah, you've got to
Ryan.
find a way to pick your teammates up when you're given the chance. And he doesn't try to do too much right here. He just takes what's there.
Do
Safely
that hole,
on
nice.
second, and his buddy is
Well,
high-fiving
the offense
teammates
is finally
in the
waking
dugout.
up here in October.
And that's through into left, a base hit.
This has been
They'll
quite
add
an
another
underwhelming
to the total. It's
postseason,
8-2 now.
offensively speaking.
Yeah, Matt, hard to stay focused on the game when the score is
The
this
batter,
far out of hand,
the designated
especially
hitter,
when you're on the losing
Jorge
side of it. Even as
Soler.
broadcasters, it can be a little bit challenging to stay fully dialed in.
Ooh, there's
That's
not
back
inning-ending
toward the
double
mound.
play.
This will be a tough turn, however. There's one.
You're
They barely got the out
One's
at
all they
second.
were ever going to get, and the inning will continue.
The catcher,
It
number
took a
40,
pretty long time for the
Wilson
shortstop to receive the ball
Contreras.
that time. So that gave the runner plenty of time to bear down on him and take him out. Hopefully everyone's okay down there.
Hit out towards second.
I think Contreras might win
And
World
that
Series
finds its
MVP
way
this
through
week.
for a base hit.
Look at that. That was like a very lax throw from Laureano. It was still fucking
Lou
amazing.
Trevino. And there's
The
now a
first
mop-up
baseman,
role
number
as he'll try to
42.
Lou.
keep the deficit right where it
Anthony
is.
Rizzo.
And that'll bring Anthony Rizzo to the plate.
It's not a strike.
That's
That's strike
no
ball.
balls and a strike. 2 hits in 4 attempts to this point. 1-1 the count to the Cubs' first baseman.
His gloves look like clown gloves for some reason, Rizzo.
A ball and 2 strikes
That's
to
a good
Anthony
pitch.
Rizzo.
Even though the count should be 2-1. That's a good pitch.
Now Rizzo
That one, not
belts
so much.
one, carrying well to right field.
Blow it open, gentlemen.
Gone!
There's the offensive numbers. We're stat padding a little bit. I'll take it.
Another excellent swing right there. That's multiple home runs in the same inning. Watch yourself. You're missing over the heart of the plate.
Did we bat around? Yeah, Schwarber led off the inning with that triple. We batted
Now
around.
batting.
Neat.
The left fielder, Kyle Schwarber.
Into the box now, Kyle Schwarber.
Back to back, Rizzo and Schwarber.
Down the right field line. That's going to stay fair, and it's going to be back-to-back home runs.
Oh, this offense just came to life.
Well, they've got the elevate and celebrate thing working in this one, guys. That was their 4th big fly of the game.
All in the later innings. Happ had one earlier in the inning.
The center fielder, number 8, Ian Happ.
Oh, that looked like a good one to hit. Batted around.
Now batting, right fielder, Jason.
Another pitcher this inning. Who is it now? Joaquin Soria.
Your attention, please. Now pitching.
Soria's
for the
great.
A's,
Soria comes on to
number
pitch
48.
now, looking for better results
Damn.
than
Yeah,
the
Soria's
arms
great.
that they've
In this
run
game,
out.
if you ask me,
Soria.
Soria's one of the best
How about that right out of the
bullpen arms.
A ground ball on-
Period. Well,
So that
I'm going to
brings
stick
up
with Zach
the
Britton, I
always
guess.
intense
Leading off
Matt
for the
Chapman.
A's,
He'll lead things
the
off
third
here in the
baseman,
ninth, with his guys
Matt
in danger of falling into a
Chapman.
very
No point in
difficult
burning
to
another arm.
escape 3-0 deficit.
No ball,
Got
2
him out
strikes.
with his front foot. It's 0-2. Fouled off.
Hopefully I can get his ERA down. I mean, double digits before this outing.
Again, another foul ball. Slapped hard
You're
the
there.
opposite way.
Atta boy,
And he
Hayward.
will reach down and pluck this one off his shoe top. So fine play there for the
Now
first
batting,
out.
the designated hitter, Mark
Ready to deliver. Here's the first pitch.
Canna.
0-1.
Swing and a miss.
2 batters. How far down does ERA go? Okay,
That
we're out of the
time it's
10s.
0-1.
Jeez, out of the double digits.
In my opinion, one of the toughest pitches
got
in
one
the
ball,
game
one
to
strike.
square up. Just
I don't
a
remember
heavy
having such a
sinker
bad outing with
with
Britton at
good
one point.
downward action.
1-2
I mean, I know
now as
obviously
that
the
one's
lack
fouled
of
off.
innings pitched, like
One out,
anything more
nobody
than
on.
1 run is going to be exceedingly high for an ERA.
2-2.
But still.
2-2 the count.
2-2 pitch is fouled away.
My luck, he's going to give up at least 1 run because I'm just trying to keep him in there to get that
And
ERA
pitch.
down and look better.
Hit hard
Certainly
down
throwing
the
a lot of
line.
pitches for a
This is gonna
game
be
where we're up
foul
by
ball
10 with
as that
2 outs
keeps
to go.
things at 2-2.
You know, taking you inside the mind of a batter right here, you can't get in auto swing mode. You still have to control the
All right,
strike
so
zone.
that went from his ERA in 1 out
The
going
left
from
fielder,
8-10 to...
Here's
Two.
Chris Davis
Hopefully I can get
now.
under
Chris.
7.
Was a fly out for him in his
Davis.
last trip.
That's a strike. Wow, this is a homer for an umpire.
That
Oh,
swung
one
out.
and
one.
We're even at 1-1.
Fuck with every pitch call.
Good pitch as this is swung
I got the
on
count,
and
1
missed,
and 2.
now they're down to perhaps their final strike of the evening.
Take the third base
Left
coach with
side, but it's well foul. Last strike now for Oakland.
There it
Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that'll do it here as the ball game is over.
Okay, so we're up 3 games
So
to none in the
Cubs
series.
are
That
one
was
win away from
quite
a
an interesting
sweep
game.
of this fall classic, guys.
Yeah, it's been
We went
totally
from losing in the
one-sided so
6th
far, Matt.
to up 2 in
Bit
the
more of
8th,
same, and
to up
they'll
10 in the
be
9th,
raising the
batted
trophy.
around, scored
It's
8
all
runs, had
working for
3
this
home
team
runs in
right
1 inning.
now.
Happ, Rizzo, and Schwarber.
And on the losing end of this one, how about the A's?
Well, here's the bad news. No team has ever come
Wait a
back from
second.
a 3-0 deficit to win a World Series. It's been
That's-
done in
hold
the
on, I gotta look at
ALCS,
this.
so we know it's not impossible. But before they start entertaining miracles, they got to see if they can just win 1 game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab me my Zyrtec. And we're up 4-2 in Game 4, hoping to sweep the World Series. I'll be right back. Okay. Let's win me a World Series.
For a report on this club's outlook heading into Game 4, here's Heidi Watney.
Well, Matt, the overarching sentiment from this team is that tonight is the night.
Tonight's the night, baby.
Players
Leading
earlier,
off
the
for the
sense of
Cubs,
excitement in them
the
was
third
palpable.
baseman,
I didn't
Chris.
get a lot of that
Tonight's the night.
cliche
Ryan.
talk about not looking ahead or treating this game like any other. No, they were adamant that they are ready to sweep this World Series and celebrate. We'll see if that confidence leads them to the pinnacle of the sport later this
Of
evening.
course, it's raining again, too.
Into the windup, here comes the 0-1. This is
hanger.
line to left.
Should have power swung it. I'm a fucking
Ender
idiot.
settles under it, and there's one gone.
Now batting, catcher, Wilson Contreras.
First pitch on its way. High in the air out to center field. Laureano is there now, and he has it. 2 gone.
Up next for the Cubs,
Now in the box,
the designated
Jorge
hitter,
Soler. He's
Jorge
0 for 2 thus far in this one.
Soler.
He's ready. Here's the first offering. Grounded to short. Simeon's got it. Throw on to
He's
Olsen. Will
out.
take care of him at first, and that is.
So who do I have on the mound? John
Now with
Lester
the
or
plate,
King Tom?
Tony Kemp. And Dan
I was hoping it would be John Lester.
Hey, athletic.
Put him as my number 4 starter.
The second baseman, Tony.
Your 1, 2, 3 guys are the ones
Yeah.
you look to generate a lot of action. They just haven't been up to the task so far in this one.
Sit down.
Still time for them to turn it around, though. We'll see if it happens.
Soft grounder left side. Scooped up. Throws in time, and that's out number 1.
Now batting, shortstop,
Stepping in, Marcus
Marcus.
Simeon. In past meetings
Simeon.
with Quintana, he's seen him well, 6 for 11. Into the windup, here comes the 0-1. And now here's the ball hit pretty well.
Hayward,
out
how
toward
about
right
doing
center
something
field.
besides jogging?
And he will make the play out there, and there are 2 away now.
now batting, first baseman,
First
Matt.
pitch of the at-bat.
Olsen.
Early swing there as he pulls it
Scary.
foul to the right side. We're in the 6th inning now of a 4-2 ball game. And he gets him to swing through
Yeah.
that one. He's in
0-2.
control 0-2.
Hey, this is an amazing inning right here. Attacking the zone, keeping his defense invested. Chance to get off the field super quick.
And another foul ball.
Whoa. Alright, I'm nervous to go back to the curveball, but also I got him good with the curveball.
Now a curveball in there.
Nice,
Strike
King
3
Kong.
called.
Nice.
The inning is over.
Your attention, please.
It's on to pitch
Now
from the
pitching
bullpen
for
now
the
to start
A's.
inning number 7.
Number 35.
Seventh inning ready to roll, and that'll bring up the outfielder, Kyle Schwarber. Tried to check it, and it's 0-1.
0-1's the count.
Are they going to say I went around on that, or there was a call strike? If it's a call strike, that's bullshit.
With those one-batter lefty specialists going the way of the dodo as a part of MLB's pace of play initiatives. Bounce to the right,
that hole.
into the loaded-up infield. And that's through into right, so a leadoff single here to start the 7th.
Hey, some guys can handle the postseason lights, and this is
Now
obviously
batting.
one of them.
The center
Another
fielder,
base hit.
Ian.
leading off for the
Ian Happ
Braves.
might be
This guy's
World
had a
Series
monster
MVP. What the
postseason
fuck?
so far.
And that'll bring in the Pittsburgh area native
Oh, if
Ian
that went
Happ.
deep.
This is in the air out to straightaway
Just
center.
missed it then.
Laureano has to roam straight back, but he has it for the first out. And he thought better of taking that risk there as he retreats back to first safely. Digging in once again,
Now batting,
Jason
right
Hayward.
fielder,
He went down on
Jason
strikes last time up.
Hayward.
Has a look, now the pitch. Swing, line, drive.
Attaboy, J.
That's
Hay.
going to be trouble.
Extra bases. He's up Piscotty right. Schwarber scoring then.
Schwarber blows through the stop sign, headed for home. Safe at the plate as they push their lead to 3 now.
The batter, number 50.
I thought this said D. Gordon hit a home run
Second
for a second. I
baseman.
was going to freak the fuck out.
D.
And
Scored
here's
away.
the speedster D. Gordon. Soft liner towards short. Off the
Oh,
base.
he beat it out!
Couldn't get it
Wow!
on, so it'll be scored
I
as
thought
an
for
infield
sure he didn't.
Hey,
The
that's a
computer
heck of
can't
an
challenge.
effort
Oh,
by the
Rizzo's
first
got a
baseman.
ding or
Number
two.
44.
His feet and try and make that
Anthony
throw to
Rizzo
first
might be
base.
a World Series
Got to
MVP.
be frustrated a little
No, he
bit as a
did.
pitcher. You executed
Lucky
your
Olson's
spot.
long,
Well, I tell you what,
Diekman.
as soon as you throw one like that, D-Roll, you see your shortstop get a glove
Rizzo
on it.
can
You
handle
think,
that. He's
okay,
solid
maybe
amount, though.
he has a shot to get him, but that's a long throw.
Count
Check
1-0.
That jump throw, and a solid infield base hit, but very frustrating as a pitcher.
The 1-0. High in the
Rizzo,
air
that's
out
not
to center
good.
field.
Can we move back, please? My coughing is going to get worse
Laureano
because I drank
is
something
there,
cold to take my
2
Zyrtec.
gone.
Cold things bother my throat.
Lou Trevino will get
The
the
batter,
ball here
number
as he
9.
looks to get the final out in the top of the 7th.
Javier Baez.
What a big RBI this
Your
inning.
attention,
Javier
please.
Baez will be his
Now
first
pitching for
assignment
the
here as
A's.
he'll face him with runners at
Number
first and
16.
second, 2 away.
Lou
1-0 the count.
Trevino.
Here's the ball
Ooh, Lou
swung
got it
on
down in
and
the
lofted
hands.
in the air out toward right. Laureano is there, and he'll make the catch to retire. Ready to go for the last half of
Remember
the
John
inning.
Lester?
And
Leading
set
off
to go
for
to
the
third
A's.
baseman.
Fourth World Series.
The
Matt
third baseman.
John Lester
Matt
gets the call from the pen to
Chapman.
take over
Against
on
his
the
former
mound and
team.
start the home 7th. Now Lester's 0-1.
1-1.
I wouldn't hate seeing John Lester finish his career in Boston, even if he is definitely on the decline.
Swung out, but it's pulled foul wide of third. High in the air out to center field. Center fielder giving chase. He makes the play. A fine running catch to get the first out of the inning.
Up next for Oakland.
Chris Davis has only
The
strike.
designated hitter.
Chris Davis. 2 hits in 2 trips for
Davis.
thus far. Short, hit
There's
hard.
Javi.
Baez fields it cleanly. And there are 2 away now.
Not the typical strong throw from Javi, though. He's kind of weird.
Now batting.
Settling
right
in
fielder.
now, Stephen Piscotty
Stephen.
comes in 0 for 2 thus far.
Piscotty.
Ball
Big
back in.
This is
curveball, just
ball 1.
out of his own.
Hit on the ground to short. Baez has it.
That's more of the strong throw from Javi, but not the accurate throw from
Base,
Javi.
and the inning's gonna continue.
Now batting. The left fielder.
Or Baez.
Jack
Baker to start.
Pinker.
2-0 the count to the A's
Outside.
left fielder.
All right, let's stop dicking around. hit him with the hard stuff.
2-0 now from
Probably
Lester.
going in on him. Yeah, fuck.
Two balls, one strike.
Pitch off the
Count.
inside edge. 2-1. I think it's safe to say he wasn't ready for the fastball.
Wow, was he behind that fastball? Great job on the mound using
That
the
is such a
curveball
sweeping
to
curveball
set
if
up
I've
the
ever seen
heater.
one.
And they could go either way now, I suppose. Lifted down the line in left. But this will land foul just shy of the wall. And again, he's unable to keep it fair, but he's putting together quite a battle at the plate. On the 8th pitch of the at-bat is the one that finally does it as he wears him down. Ready to begin the 8th. Taking in as the big-time power threat, Chris Bryant. He's set and the pitch.
I actually got the timing down on that for once, but it was off the plate. Oh, no, I was still early.
That's out.
The corner with that pitch, but it's 1-1. Now some action in that Oakland bullpen as it looks
I mean, it's
like
the
a
right
lefty
call, but usually
started to
it's
get
going
it going
against me.
down there. And
Oh,
he
okay.
can't get out of the way of that one, so the leadoff man will be on to open the frame.
The catcher, number 40, Wilson Contreras.
From the belt, kicks and deals. And he grooves the fastball there. This is hit high and deep out to straightaway center field. And he'll scale the wall here. And did he catch
Bullshit.
this? He did.
I mean, that's huge. That keeps him in the game.
Heads up play at first as he tags up and moves into
Now batting,
scoring position.
designated hitter, Jorge
What a play by
Soler.
That's a World Series player. I thought for sure he scaled too
First
well.
pitch coming. Here it is. Hard hit ball to second. On to first. And there were
That
two
sounded
down.
close to a perfect. Come on, Ian Happ's on deck. I want to get him up.
Now batting,
Digging
left
in,
fielder,
Kyle Schwarber.
Kyle
Runner in scoring position
Schwarber.
with Sagan. As a look, now the pitch.
Get down.
And a dive,
Let's
but
go.
it rattles in and out of the glove.
Oh, it's only the
And the
8th.
runner scores from third as they extend their lead.
Either way,
It's
Ian
now
Happ got up.
6-2.
Well, that
The
makes
center
it a
fielder.
Damn it, they
four-run
brought in
run,
a
so
lefty.
you might have to
Ian
start wondering if this is
Happ.
too much for them
Ladies
to
and
come
gentlemen,
back. They've
your
only been
attention,
able to
please.
scratch across 2 runs
Now pitching
the
for
entire
the
game so
Athletic.
far, so coming up
Number
with 4
38.
on
With
this
Happ,
one might be
I would put his
TJ.
hat into the
TJ McFarland.
World Series.
Farland.
Here with the runner at first and 2 gone in the inning.
Ball
This
that
one's
gets
outside, quite a bit off the plate that time.
At least an extra base.
Wheatley hit
Or
to
just a
third.
weak ground out to
Kaplan
third.
brings it in. Throw to second
He's
for
out.
the force
See, now
out
Schwarber didn't
inside is
slide in
retired.
like a dumbass there with his leg first, and like
Bottom of
Oh,
inning
fuck,
number
I think
8
he
set
beat
to
that
go.
out.
And now
Leading
it'll
off
be the
for the
catcher,
A's.
Austin Allen.
the catcher,
0-1.
he
Austin.
really had
No
beat on
balls
a
and a
93
strike.
mile-an-hour fastball.
Allen.
Hey, either this hitter needs a cup of coffee or he was
1-1.
sitting off speed right there.
Breaking ball called just a bit low. And this is lifted high in the air down the right field line.
I don't know. I feel like Rizzo.
But this will
no, I
land
feel like
untouched.
Ball.
Now a
His
breaking ball, but
curveball,
it's
I don't know
low.
Two
what's up
balls,
with it. Like,
two
He might have to
sweeping
look for
curve,
a
but at the same
different way
time
to
it's
put this
something
guy
like
away on 2-2. He's already seen the curveball a couple of times, so he might be looking for it.
Happ brings it in.
Nice execution right there, Dan. Kept his front shoulder in.
Now batting,
Kept his hands
number
inside
22.
the baseball and ripped the base hit up the middle.
And if you're a pitcher right there, you can't get discouraged. Sometimes, even when you make a good pitch, the ball's going to find a hole somewhere. And that one right up the middle.
And that'll bring in Ramon Laureano.
Ball.
That's a strike.
Ball and no
Oh my
strikes.
God.
He's hitless in 3 at-bats to this point. Big
I got a ball,
swing and
one
miss
strike.
and a
Makeup
changeup,
swing there.
a ball and a strike.
Gotta believe the pitcher's gonna trust his defense right here. Look for
those are
something down in the
shifted.
zone to induce a ground ball double play.
Here he comes on a ball and 2 strikes. And a good sinker there gets him swinging for the first down. Good job of making him chase a pitch for the strikeout there.
The batter, number
That's the advantage
5,
of getting ahead
second
of the count.
baseman,
You can really force
Tony
hitters to expand their zone of
Kemp.
protect. And when they're in that mode, getting them to go after a pitch they can't do much with is a lot easier.
To the plate now, Tony Kemp. And he turns on one, sending it high and deep
get there,
to
Jay
right.
Hay. Oh,
And
Hayward, you
gets
boned
down
me.
out near the wall and should be extra
Gonna hold him to a
bases.
single, though.
And that run will go no further than second as there are 2 aboard now.
The batter, number 10, shortstop, Marcus Simeon.
Getting that one quickly and getting it back in to keep him at first for a long
Nope,
single.
that's down.
Yeah, and also
John
nice job by the
Lester, what
base
are you
runner
doing
out
now?
there. Not putting his head down, being over-aggressive and getting thrown out at second base. He saw the play happening in front of him and put the brakes on and got back for a base hit.
Yeah, D-Roll, I think he would have been toast if he tried to stretch that
The
one
batter,
into double.
the
And
first
that'll bring
baseman,
up Matt Olson.
Matt
And this could be a real make or break
Olson.
situation.
He out of the game right here.
Yeah, man, at least scoring 1 run in this inning is so important to them to possibly get back into this thing. Baseball doesn't have a clock, but you only have 27
John Lester
outs.
wins that
Got
bat.
him.
And we'll have to leave it there.
Now I have a terrible decision to make. 9th inning. Do I go John Lester or straight
to
to
get underway.
leading off for the Cubs,
Bring up the
the right
multi-gold
fielder,
glover Jason
Jason
Hayward.
Hayward.
Just able to get a piece of that for strike 1. Comes set and the 0-1. Now a swing and a softly hit ground ball. And the off-balance throw gets
I
it. Nice
could
play
never.
for the
My
out.
team could never. None of my people could ever.
The batter, number
Here's
50,
Gordon now.
second
He's been
baseman,
solid this series.
D.
He's
Gordon.
getting knocks.
Here's the first pitch to him. Hit hard towards center.
Just getting knocks.
Again, a nice clean base hit, his 3rd of the game.
Gordon might even be up there for World Series MVP just based on his batting average. I don't know how many run score he has, but
Now batting, the first baseman,
A to the Rizzo.
Anthony
I hate myself.
Rizzo.
That'll bring Anthony Rizzo to the plate.
Oh, one's
Slides
the
that
count.
on and
Yeah,
miss
big
it. A good slider at the knees for strike 1. There we go.
Oh, shit,
A
they
pitch
got
out.
me.
But down
The
for
throw.
21.
And that'll be in plenty of time.
Really, a slide step pitch out on the second pitch.
So
After
they
the
put
first
the
pitch is a slide
speedster
step.
in motion. They're trying to test this catcher who isn't known for his
You got me
throwing
good there.
abilities, but they had it sniffed out. A well-executed pitch out leads to a
That's a
good
good swing.
throw, and they
Very
nab
good.
him at second.
He's
Off-balance
out.
throw gets
All
it.
right.
Nice play.
I want to go with John Lester.
And that'll bring
the
in
same
Matt
time,
Chapman. He'll
Craig
be the
Kimbrell
first
kinda
to bat
got
here
leading
in
off
inning.
for
One
the
of these guys
A's,
in need of some
the
ninth
third
inning
baseman,
magic if they're gonna
Matt
force a game fly.
Chapman.
Top of that finds
Your
the first
attention,
baseman's
please.
glove, and that's a tough
Now
first
pitching
out.
for the Cubs, number 46,
I'll let him
Right
have
Greg.
it moment now. This is
That
what
one
closers
catches
do.
the
John
outer
Lester
part of the plate.
probably never really anticipated throwing the
Bases
final
are
out in the
empty,
World
one
Series
man.
as the starting pitcher.
Swing and
He's
a
got
miss,
3
and
rings
Oh, two,
already,
the
so he
count.
already knows what it's
0-2.
like, too. Kimbrell's only got
Hey, this
1.
guy's got an 89-mile-an-hour
He didn't get
changeup.
pitched
There was a time when
in the final
89
three outs.
was a pretty good fastball.
Ready with another 2-strike offering. And
John
it's
Lester
fouled
has
away.
1 clinching games already. Like he won the 07 clinching.
Off
He's
speed.
the winning
I got the
pitcher.
count.
in the
1 and
07
2.
He
World
takes it
Series.
for a ball. And that is swung on and missed. And things are starting to look bleak here for the home 9. There are 2 away now.
Well,
The
we've
batter,
seen some really good
the right
pitching
fielder,
from these guys in this one.
Steve
The
Bear.
bullpen has looked sharp and it backed up a nice
Gotti.
effort turned in by the starter. These days, pitching has become a full staff effort, and I've been impressed with the job these guys have done so far.
So that'll bring up Steven
Cubs
Piscotty.
are 1 out away
He
from their
takes
second
a
World
bold strike
Series in
at the
4
knees.
years.
It's 0-1.
after 108
Could
years
really
without
use a
1.
knock here. 0 for 3 in the game so far.
Strike away now.
Taken called strike 2, and now they're down to their final strike tonight.
Yeah, this is straight survival mode. Down 0-2. The numbers are definitely not with the batter here.
Last strike now for Oakland. A swing and a shot hit down the corner, but it bends just
Trimble.
fouled into the
Ramp it up
second
there.
deck.
Get as wild with that fastball as you can.
Ready with another 2-strike offering. Struck him out, and it's over. They are World Series
Cubs once again
champions.
world champion. World champions.
Wow! World Series champions. The only thing that could have made this sweeter would have been doing it in front of the home crowd. But hey, they're not complaining, believe me. Now they can look forward to celebrating during the parade as they bring the World Series trophy home. What a moment for this team, this organization, and that city.
Back now on the show. More reactions now to this series-clinching victory. And down on the field, we'll get a chance to watch the presentation of the Commissioner's Trophy to the new World Champs.
Okay. So the Cubs are world champions again. And this was such a weird run for me. I still got an A grade for amazing. 109 to 53 record, first in the NL Central. Hang on. Okay, yeah, this has been a very I don't want to say underwhelming, but I've been whelmed. Look at the graph. We started off hot, like really hot, for that matter. God, my skin is everywhere. Like, it was a very solid increasing trend. The second half was very underwhelming, though, I feel. I'll take a look at the player boost. We got Chris Bryant, Soler through a trade, Kluber through a trade, D. Gordon through a trade, Tyler Chatwood, Kyle Schwarber, David Bodie. So I got 7 player boosts. I don't know, I just didn't feel... I feel like they didn't live up to expectations for me. Take a look at the standings one last time. No, actually, I'm good with the standings. I already did this. Biggest shocker to me. Yeah, I'll just take a look at the player stats then. Especially in the postseason. The postseason was very pitching dominated. For fuck's sake, I can't type. There we go. Alright. Postseason, Tyler Chatwood did not pitch. Kyle Ryan did not pitch. Rowan Wick did not pitch. Jeremy Jeffress pitched twice for an inning and 2/3. Struck out 1 batter, walked 0 batters, gave up 1 hit, no runs, no walks. I think I already said that. For a 0 ERA, .60 whip. Alec Mills pitched for 2 2/3 innings. He didn't walk anyone. He only struck out 1 batter. This was in 2 separate appearances. I'll do that. 2 appearances. He gave up 2 hits, 1 run, which was on a home run, for an ERA of 3.38 and a whip of .75. Okay. Zach Britton pitched in 4 appearances across 4 innings. He struck out 8 batters. He walked 0, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, including a home run, 2 holds, a blown save. Good for an ERA of 6.75 and a whip of 1.25. Craig Kimbrell made 5 appearances across 5 innings. He walked 0, struck out 11, 1 hit. And all that time, no runs. Good for an ERA of 0 and a whip of .20, including 4 saves. John Lester. I'm glad that I got to start at least 1 game with him. John Lester made 2 appearances, 1 as a starter, 1 as a reliever for 2 innings, a combined total of 11 innings. So John Lester actually pitched a complete game. In his 11 innings, he walked 0, struck out 13, which was a complete game shutout. He gave up 5 hits, no runs. So I'm very happy for John Lester and his 13 strikeouts. Did he do anything with the bat? No, no hits. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I'm so sidetracked right now. I wanted to look up most strikeouts in a postseason. Because, well, I don't imagine John Lester has the most strikeouts in a single postseason. Not this time around. He only had 13. I'm wondering how many he has career-wise in the postseason. And if he's made the top 10 now. That's strikeouts per 9. Whoops. Strikeouts career. Yeah, John Lester's already in the top 10 at 133. So now John Lester has gotten his strikeouts up to 146, moving him into 6th all-time. He passes Max Scherzer, Tom Glavine, and Mike Mussina. John Lester also did this in 165 innings. So in 165 innings, John Lester Has more strikeouts than Mussina, who did it in less, actually. More than Tom Glavine, who had a hell of a lot more. Tom Glavine cracked in the 200-inning mark. And then Max Scherzer also has a lot less. So, at 165, if Lester were to pitch, he would need to, if he wants to get in the top 5, he would have to pass Kershaw, who has currently now, after this, 5 more than him. So that's cool. I figured John Lester would be up there. Yeah, I'm good with that. Jose Quintana. Quintana was a little He had 2 starts. He pitched 13 innings across those 2 starts. He walked 0, struck out 12. Neither one of those, or no, those were both quality starts, my bad. He gave up 10 hits, 4 runs, 1 hit by a pitch even. Did he do anything with the bat? No. So Quintana, in his 13 innings and his 2 starts, a 2.77 ERA, 0.77 WHIP. Yu Darvish. I wonder if Yu Darvish was on the list. I don't think he was. But that's something I want to check. Let me pull that list back up again. Most strikeouts in a postseason. Go to Baseball Reference. Go down to the strikeouts in a season. Nope, not a season, in a career. Yeah, Yu Darvish was not on that list. I wonder if I could look him up, though. Because I wonder how many he had before this. Yu Darvish postseason strikeouts. Yu Darvish stats. Show. Whoops. Oh, they're doing a simulated season. Nice. I don't want to see the spring training. I want to see. Regular season. Postseason pitching. Oh wow, Yu Darvish only has 25 postseason strikeouts? Plus 37 more. Yeah, he's not even close to cracking that list. Alright, whatever. Okay, so Yu Darvish, though, had, what, 3 starts? 3 starts, so across 22 innings, he walked 0 batters, struck out 37. In his 3 starts, they were all quality starts, 14 hits, 4 runs. I see a bug that needs to die. No bugs in the house. Oh, it's flying, is it? Oh, the fucker. Oh, I almost dropped my slipper, and I lost sight of it when I did that. Little bastard. I will catch you, and you will die. It was like a little moth-looking thing. Fuck. It's my one rule. I don't care about bugs. Just not in the house. You're in the house, that's grounds for immediate removal of life. If you are non-threatening and seem fine, and aren't a dick, like, if I'm in the right mood, I might let you outside. Like, depending on where you are in the house. That's besides the point. Yu Darvish, 14 hits, 4 runs, gave up 2 home runs. He did get a base hit in one of his 4 at-bats in the postseason. Also, but again, 37 strikeouts, good for an ERA of 1.64 and a WHIP of points, or a 1.64 and a WHIP of 0.64. Kyle Hendricks was incredible. I mean, it's hard to determine who was better between Kyle Hendricks and Corey Kluber for the most part. Because when we look at Kyle Hendricks, who had 3 starts, he went 3-0 in those 3 starts. 23 1/3 innings pitched. He walked 0, struck out 32. He gave up 7 hits, but he didn't give up a single run in 23 1/3 innings. And as if that weren't impressive enough, he also got 3 base hits himself and an RBI. So Kyle Hendricks did more offensively than he allowed. Yeah, he gave up 7 hits, but he also got 3 himself, including an RBI, which he gave up 0 runs. So his ERA in 23 1/3 innings and 3 starts is 0. His WHIP was .30. Corey Kluber might have been better because he had 4 starts, and in those 4 starts, he pitched 33 innings. I'd honestly give Corey Kluber my postseason MVP award. He only walked 2 batters. He struck out 48, which, if I recall correctly, is second most all-time for a single postseason. I'm not going to look it up again. But in those 4 starts, he went 4-0, 2 complete game shutouts in that. He only gave up 12 hits, 2 runs across the entire postseason. With his bat, he also got 3 hits and an RBI. So Kluber allowed 1 run more than he scored. He struck out 48, good for an ERA of .55 and a WHIP of .42. Offensively, this was very, like I said, just like whelming for the most part. Not underwhelming, but definitely not where I'd expect it to be. Victor Caratini didn't have an at-bat. Jason Kipnis didn't have an at-bat. Daniel Descalso didn't have an at-bat. Steven Souza Jr. I used as a pinch hitter once when I wasn't paying attention, and he didn't do anything with his at-bat. David Bodie, I used as a pinch hitter twice. He had 2 at-bats, and in those 2 at-bats, he got a base hit. Just a single. Ian Happ was my DH in the... Or not my DH. He was my center fielder in the AL games, so that Soler could be my DH. So he had 3 games. He also started game 1 in the NLDS, I believe, over Jay Hay because we faced a lefty. He had 13 at-bats, 4 hits for a 308 average. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, though, and 2 runs scored. That was all in the World Series. His 2 home runs, 5 RBIs were in the World Series, so pretty much all of his production was in the World Series. So that's pretty nice. Good to see. D. Gordon, my leadoff hitter, had 56 at-bats. He got 17 hits for a 304 average. D. Gordon was fine. Didn't get any home runs, didn't hit any home runs, didn't get any RBIs. He stole 2 bases, a 304 average, scored 6 runs. D. Gordon, solid out of the number 1 spot. Good trade pickup. Speaking of trade pickups, Jorge Soler. Usually I'm a lot better with him. He had 50 at-bats. He only had 11 hits for a 220 average. 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, a stolen base, 220 average. I think I already said that. Scored 7 runs. Kind of just there. Meh. I mean, the power was alright. 3 home runs. But, like, it wasn't individualized. It was very spread out. Jay Hay, 40 at-bats, 8 hits for a 200 average only, but he's had 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 4 runs scored. Like, that's a very common theme. 2 to 3 home runs, 5 to 7 RBIs, as you can see. Wilson Contreras, in his 47 at-bats, 17 hits. I think Contreras might, offensively speaking, probably my postseason MVP. The only one you could argue maybe is also Baez, but I'm going Wilson Contreras. 47 at-bats, 17 hits, 362 average, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 1 stolen base, 7 runs scored. Kyle Schwarber, 43 at-bats, 14 hits, 326 average, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, 7 runs scored. Schwarber, though, I want to look at his slugging. Slugging is 558. His OPS wasn't as high as that. I mean, it's still a very, like, that's a high OPS, but I know he 2 doubles, a triple, and then his 2 home runs. So 3, 4, 5 of his 14 hits were extra base hits. I believe going into the World Series, though, he didn't really have any singles. So Javi Baez, 51 at-bats, second most on the team. 15 hits for a 294 average, 4 home runs, 7 RBIs, a stolen base, scored 8 runs. Anthony Rizzo, 48 at-bats, 11 hits, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, a stolen base, 229 average, 4 runs scored. Chris Bryant, 50 at-bats, 14 hits, 280 average, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, 7 runs scored. Again, everyone was kind of just there. Nothing really sticks out. Maybe Contreras a little bit. Maybe Baez a little bit. But, like, that's really, like, nothing. I usually have at least one guy who takes over in October. Pitching-wise, obviously, yeah, Kluber and Hendricks definitely did. But offensively, just didn't really have it. We'll take a look at the stats for the regular season. Tyler Chatwood was not good for me. Overall, stayed at 73, and nothing really special out of Hendricks. With the bat, he did get 11 hits, 4 doubles, 7 RBIs. Actually, not a bad hitter. His attributes are a little bit of contact, no power, though. As a pitcher, though, I had to move him to the bullpen when I traded for Corey Kluber. He was the odd man out, and boy, did he need to be the odd man out. He had 34 appearances, 18 of which were starts. He went 8-4. 120 and 2/3 innings pitched. He got shelled. Struck out 150, so at least the strikeouts were there. But his ERA was 5.89, that's bad. 1.52 whip, that's not good at all. 1.3 WAR, whatever. Contract, not really worth that. Not kind of worth that money at all, but he's happy. And especially with the contract. So yeah, whatever. Kyle Ryan, another guy who just was not there for me. Bullpen arm, got his overall up at 72. Don't really see him being anyone ever. He made 40. Of course, it's always the ones that are the worst that make the most appearances. 46 appearances for Kyle Ryan, 2-2 with no saves, a blown save, 9 holds. 46 innings pitched. He got shelled. Struck out 51. Not bad, but 5.87 ERA is bad. 1.54 whip, not good at all. WAR was negative .5. Under team control for 2 more years. I think his contract, he's getting more than he deserves even now. But he thinks he deserves a $1 million contract. I highly disagree. I think being a negative WAR guy and never really having... last year he had a solid outing. 2019 he had a solid outing. In 2016 he had a solid outing. I don't think he deserves a $1 million contract yet, though. Rowan Wick, I think he was hit or miss for me. Oh, did Kyle Ryan do anything offensively? Did I look at that? He didn't have any bats. Rowan Wick, he got his overall up to 79. I think Wick was good. Rowan Wick got his overall up to 79. He's almost gold. Didn't do anything with the bat. No, Wick was not good either. It's the other one. Alec Mills, he was good. 33 appearances for Rowan Wick. 4 wins, a loss, a save, 3 blown saves, 10 holds. 31 2/3 innings pitched. He kind of got lit up as well. 39 strikeouts, but 5.12 ERA, not good. 1.36, that's bad. 1.36 whip. Could be worse, actually. That's not the worst. Above league average, but not like exceedingly high. His WAR was positive, 0.3. He's amassed a WAR that's above 1 now in his career. He's under team control until 2025. Overall wise, like if we're speaking strictly from attributes, this kid's got potential to be something good. He's at 79 overall. Granted, he's 27, but I think he can crack into being gold. And if his stats would reflect his attributes, I think he has a chance to be a solid, dependable guy. Not great, but solid. You know, under team control until 2025. I just looked at that. He's satisfied. Doesn't like his contract. I think he's getting what he deserves right now, contract-wise. Happy with his role. Yeah, just overall, man. Jeremy Jeffress was actually really solid. I'm surprised. For a guy that's 32 years old, his overall was low, and it went up to 73, but it didn't really go up. So for a guy that low of an overall, he was definitely solid. Dependable for like a solid chunk. 39 appearances, went 3-3, 2 saves, a blown save, 4 holds. 44 innings pitched. He struck out 41. His ERA was 3.07. That's all right. That's fine. His WHIP was 1.07. That's good. That's definitely good. And a .8 WAR. You know, so it is what it is. His contract, yeah, he's worth that money. He's happy. He's happy with his contract for sure, and he's happy with his team role. Alec Mills. Mills got his overall up to 79. He's 28 years old, but he doesn't really have much experience. He's got a solid amount of stamina. I don't see him becoming a starter, but I can see him also going gold, and he was great for me. 70 appearances, 3 wins, 2 losses, a save, no blown saves, 12 holds, 92 innings pitched out of the bullpen. He struck out 105, a 2.84 ERA, and a 1.10 WHIP. That's actually really great. Like, I'm very surprised and impressed and happy with that. 1.4 WAR, under team contract till 2025, team control, I should say, till 2025. He was good. He's satisfied. I think he definitely deserves that contract that he's expecting. I think he deserves better than that, but granted, it's only been 1 year, so you never know. I think he'll get paid after next year through arbitration. Definitely happy with him. Huge, actually. Zach Britton, I don't know what his numbers were when I traded for him, but I got his overall back up to 80, so Zach Britton went back into the gold category at least. Refound himself a little bit. His numbers were, I don't think he gave up a run when I traded for him. I wanted him to be my setup guy, but he just barely got used. 22 appearances only. 1 win, no losses, 2 saves, 2 blowns, 12 holds. Only 19 innings pitched, which is an absolute career low. Was he a starter? Oh my God, Zach Britton was a starter for 2 years, and then even a little bit in 2013. Yeah, his 2016 was actually fucking insane when I look at it. But nonetheless, 19 innings pitched only, 12 hits, 3 runs, 25 strikeouts, a 1.42 ERA. So like small sample size, but good numbers at least. 1.26 WHIP. WAR 0.5. Worth the trade though, because he was definitely valuable. I didn't check these guys for offensive numbers, I don't believe. I think Rowan Wick was the last guy I did. Going the wrong way. Jeffers didn't, Alec Mills didn't, Britton didn't. Okay. I didn't think so, but worth the trade, because the thing is, too, we have him for one more year. Worth the money? Probably. Again, small sample size, though. He's ecstatic, though. He thought he'd be depth, and he ended up going to the bullpen and being a setup guy. Loves his contract. Yeah, he was good. Craig Kimbrell really bounced back and refound himself. He was kind of shaky towards the end of 2018 for us, and then, you know, I think him not getting signed for so long into 2019 really helped him wear down faster. But he went back and found himself in this run and reminded us all that I think he's, statistically speaking, been the best closer of the 2010s. I think the only other two that give him a run for his money are, I think Kenley Jansen was 2 and Chapman was 3. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's don't get me wrong, as electric as Chapman is and is the bigger name, I think Jansen and Kimbrell have actually been better. Craig Kimbrell, but either way, he got his overall back up to gold, and he was absolutely great for me. 47 appearances, he had 38 saves, didn't blow a single save, only 1 hold, which is fine. 42 and a third innings pitched. He struck out 62. 2.13 ERA, really good. 0.76 WHIP, really good. Good for a WAR of 1.3. And now finally has, well, not finally has rings. He actually got one in 2018, but he has 2 rings now. Worth the contract, I'd say. He's happy. Doesn't like the coaching, but he's happy with everything. Wasn't sure if he'd be the closer or not after last year, seemingly, but yeah, he was there and he was good. Now we're looking at Kimbrell, who's 31 years old, 9 years in the bigs. I think he's on his way to the Hall of Fame. I think he's working his way there. I think he still needs to go about 4 or 5 more years, but when you look at his saves, if he can keep this, you know, if he can go back to that guy that's getting at least 30 saves a season, I mean, he's got to be constant. But if he's going to get anywhere, say, let's take a look at what his average is. He has 384 saves across, was it 9 years? Just make sure here. Yeah, we're not going to count that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So across 10 years. Well, it says 9 years of service, so I'll do 9. That's an average of 42 saves. So account for potential decline, and I'll stick with 38. If you can get 38 more saves a year for, we'll go 4 years, get him at 35. That's 152 more saves plus the 384 he has. That's putting him at 536. If we look at the all-time saves leaders, can I do that in the at-bat app? That way I don't have to Google it. How many saves did that put him at? 536. I believe the record was, what, 511 before Trevor Hoffman got it? I don't remember off the top of my head. Pitching. Regular season. Ooh. You can do career total and single season active only. Oh, cool. Career total, though. So saves. Oh, no. The record was only 478. Wow. So, yeah. If you can get to 536 saves, that'll put him 3rd all-time. I mean, as it is right now, before these 38, Kimbrell was... Why is he not on this list? If you take away those 38 saves, he's at 340... I can't math backwards. 384 minus 38. He'd be at 346. So that would put him... 13th all time? Something doesn't seem right. This says he only has 296. So why does it say he has 384? I'm gonna see this actually. Let's see. 2010 he had 1, right. 2011 46, right. 2012 42, right. 2013 50. 2014 47. 39, 31, 35, 42, 13. So it says MLB career 346. when I go to the all-time saves list, it says he's at 296. It's weird. So I don't know if I should believe this. I know Hoffman had 601, and I know Rivera had 652, and he's the all-time leader. That's weird. So Kimbrel's already 13th all-time before this season, because he has 346. This 38 here, this 384, gets him already up to 8th all-time. So I think for sure he has a solid shot at 500. He can get 120 more. That's only a couple more seasons. I don't know. Like I said, it's very, very dependent. But I think he's on his way to the Hall of Fame. I think Craig Kimbrel's on his way to the Hall of Fame. He's got career strikeouts. He'll get 1,000 career strikeouts as a closer. I don't know how common that is, but he's also got a career ERA just above 2 and a career WHIP below 1. So I think he's on his way to the Hall of Fame. Do you know anything with his bat? I doubt it, but yeah. John Lester. John Lester, 36 years old, 14 years in the bigs now. Has 4 rings. That's very big, especially for pitchers. But he is on the decline. His overall went down to 76. He did have 62 at-bats. He had 12 hits, scored 2 runs, got 2 doubles, drove in 5 runs. 5 RBIs for John Lester. John Lester was my number 5 guy. At one point he was my number 4 guy, but jumped down to number 5. He had a somewhat okay year, though. He had a turnaround. His numbers were bad for a while, and he had a solid turnaround. 32 starts, went 16-13, 204 innings pitched, struck out 199, which is his highest since 2016. 1 strikeout away from 200, which would be the first time since his first year with the Cubs. His ERA went down from last year at least, but 4.24 still kind of high. Not the best. Same with the WHIP, 1.40, above league average. So these two, not what you want. Pitching WAR 3.4. This is my number 5 guy now. So he's not terrible. I don't know if I see him retiring or not necessarily. Maybe like a 2-year deal somewhere at most. I mean, but he does have 4 rings, so maybe he retires. I don't know. He's happy though. I'm surprised he's only just happy. Loves his contract. Loves the team performance, the individual performance. Content with his role and the coaching. Just doesn't like that he's far from Washington, but he's healthy. John Lester I think, has earned his way into the Hall of Very Good, for sure. And I think if he were to ever get Hall of Fame consideration, it would have to be because of his 4 rings. I don't think he has Hall of Fame numbers, though, which I hate to say because I love John Lester. He got to 200 wins, and he's now above 2,500 strikeouts, so he's definitely in the Hall of Very Good, and I think he's teetering his way into debates. I don't think he makes it in for sure, though. I think for sure he does not make the Hall of Fame. At least, not yet. You know, if somehow he goes another 4 years with these numbers, he cracks 3,000 strikeouts and maybe 250 wins, probably less, maybe 240. But if he gets 3,000 strikeouts, and if he somehow throws in a 5th ring, then yeah, okay, he's Hall of Fame. But that's very unlikely. Hall of Very Good in my eyes. His ERA is kind of high for his career. His WHIP is alright, but I think he would get in on strikeouts, service time, 200 plus wins, and World Series rings. So I don't know. And he's got a solid story. You know, the kid came up, beat cancer, threw a no-hitter, won a ring with Boston in 2007. Then he was the leader of the rotation in 2013 when they won it. Then he jumps over to the Cubs. And in the year that they won the World Series for the first time in 108 years, he was incredible. So I think definitely Hall of Very Good, and teetering his way into debates, but those debates will always end with, nah, he's not a Hall of Famer. Jose Quintana, interesting one here. I always forget about him. Got his overall up to 82, went gold, but I think he's pretty much reaching his peak. He was He was great for me this year, though. He had an absolute career year, staying in Chicago. Definitely a Chicago legend at this point between the Cubs and White Sox. Finally gets a ring after 8 years. He's been on the White Sox since 2012. 33 starts. He went 20-7, and I think Quintana might win the Cy Young. 20 wins, 233 and 2/3 innings pitched. Did he do anything offensively before I get too far? He had 11 hits, 2 doubles, 5 RBIs, whatever. 229 strikeouts. That's a career high. 2.58 ERA, a career low, like a career best, I guess. And considering he's barely peaked over 200 innings in his career, to get 233 and 2/3 and have that, and a WHIP of 1.05, pitching WAR of 5.2, definitely worth the contract. He's happy. He was expecting to be the rotation, and he ended up being an ace. He wasn't like the ace, but he was definitely one of my aces. That's the thing. We had multiple aces. He had 20 wins, over 200 strikeouts, and ERA 2.58 is incredible. 1.05 WHIP is incredible. That's really good. Those are top of the line numbers. Darvish went back and found his old form as well. Overall went up to 85, back to diamond. 9 years in the bigs now, 33 years of age. So he's probably just about peaking. 13 hits, 2 doubles, 5 RBIs, whatever. What's wrong with him? But he was in the like my top 3 were easily Kluber, or no. God, I had really 4. I didn't realize that. Just everyone was great. 32 starts. He also went 20-7. 224 and 2/3 innings pitched for Darvish. Got the strikeouts back up to 281. ERA down to 2.64. WHIP of 1.17. Those are great numbers. Pitching WAR 5.8. Worth the money this year. I think he's earned that contract for the next 3 years, assuming he can stay at that level. Also, we're looking at his career numbers. Got up over 1,500 strikeouts and only had 83 wins. Wow. Well, he kind of wasted away in Texas for a little bit. Not that they were bad when he was on Texas, but I think. Oop, wrong button. I think Darvish as a whole. I think he was a little on the overrated side. Like a little. Like, he's a big name, and he could get a lot of strikeouts, but at the same time, like, his 2014 was good. Like, in 2013 and 2014, he was definitely good. 2016, he started to slip away a little bit. Not that he was bad, but and then 2017, when Texas traded him, his ERA was above 4. And he just wasn't that good for Chicago. In his 8 starts. I don't know, did he get hurt or something? Last year he was, he got the strikeouts up, but, and then finally he had a bounce back here, though. Good year for me. He's happy. Not, the only thing he's not thrilled with is coaching. Everything else, he's fine with. Yeah, Darvish also a Cy Young candidate, I'd say, this year. Kyle Hendricks got his overall up to 86, went back to diamond. I don't know if he ever was, but Kyle Hendricks was solid. This is the guy that bumped down to my number 4. My top 3 were definitely Kluber, Darvish, and Quintana. Hendricks was good for the most part, and then he bumped down to the 4th spot because of the trade for Kluber. So this is the number 4 guy putting up these numbers. Pretty damn good. 32 starts, he goes 15-11, 211 and 2/3 innings pitched, 187 strikeouts, cracked over the 1,000 mark. ERA of 3.19, WHIP of 1.14, pitching WAR of 4.7. Offensively, he got 13 hits, double, went deep once, 6 home runs, 6 RBIs. Overall, definitely a satisfactory year from him. Worth the money this year, worth the contract. I'd say he's happy. The only thing he doesn't like is the coaching. And again, these are number 4 numbers right here. Like, to have your number 4 guy with that low of an ERA, that low of a WHIP, strikeouts are pretty solid. It's career high for strikeouts. Definitely happy with that. And then the guy who immediately took over is the ace. Got his overall back up to 90. Diamond, one of the best pitchers in the game. Probably going to win the NL Cy Young. The only reason he probably wouldn't is the trade. I don't know when I traded for him. If he doesn't win it, it's got to be Quintana or Darvish. I'm leaning more towards Quintana. But Corey Kluber, across the entire year, had 33 starts. He went 22-5, 254 innings pitched even, 286 strikeouts, a 2.16 ERA, and a 1.101 WHIP. Those are filthy numbers, to say the least. 7.2 pitching WAR offensively. He got 10 hits, a double, a triple, 10 RBIs. Worth the trade, worth the contract. He's satisfied. He's actually not happy with his contract at all, because I believe Texas. No, he's on the last year of his deal, right? Whatever he signed. I think he's gonna get paid in the offseason. Was it a career year? He found the Klubot again though. It was a career year. It was a career year for Kluber in the ERA department, not in the WHIP department, but and then also in the strikeouts department. So overall, I'd say career year. Because the difference is the innings pitched. He's never pitched that many innings before. So he definitely found the Klubot form again. Definitely, I think, wins the Cy Young, and probably going to take the MVP just because the game does that sometimes. Looking at his career numbers now, he got his career ERA down to 3 even, WHIP down to 1.07. Strikeouts is nearing 2,000. He's definitely in the Hall of Very Good at this point. Another 20-win season. His age is the only factor. I don't know if he can keep doing this. If he does this another 5 years, we're looking at close to 3,000 strikeouts, and probably over, maybe over 200 wins. I don't know. I don't think he's a Hall of Fame yet, for sure, but either way, the pitching was a monstrosity on this team, which was surprising, like in a good way. The offense on the other side, I expected to be very great, and it kind of, like, it was all right, don't get me wrong, but it was not at all what I expect. Victor Caratini, interesting one here. Not a bad fielder, and not a bad hitter either, but he's just not up to par with Wilson Contreras or Anthony Rizzo or Chris Bryant, which are the 3 positions he plays. So it kind of sucks for him. I think once he goes into free agency, whenever that may be, he's going to go somewhere else and shine. 73 overall, B potential, 26 years old. He only played in 87 games, 247 at-bats, 67 hits for a 271 average, 11 home runs, 41 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, because why not? Not bad numbers. Okay, this is backup catcher numbers, so 2.1 WAR. I'm happy with that. There's a backup catcher putting up those numbers. That's definitely fine. He's under team control for 2 more years. I think he would be a solid trade piece, or, like I said, when he hits free agency in 2023, because he's going to get better. And when he does, like, he's going to be a solid hitter. So, he's angry, though. He's pissed. Thought he'd be platooning. He's benched. Doesn't like his contract at all. Thinks he should be close to $3 million. Still making that minimum. Hates the coaching as well. So, yeah, he's angry. So, his overall suffered for it. Jason Kipnis. I'm kind of sad about Kipnis because I wanted to use him, but I needed to fill a hole. I needed a guy with speed that I could clearly lead off with, and one of the few places that I could definitely make a replacement at was either in the outfield or second base, but second base even was like the biggest one, because Kipnis isn't the worst against righties. He's a decent hitter against righties, good vision, discipline, clutch, solid fielder, just doesn't really have the arm strength. Got his overall up to 76 for that matter, but he just wasn't getting it done for me the way I wanted him to. So, but he's got a ring now. That's good for him. 57 games, only 178 at bats. 43 hits for a 242 average. Like, he wasn't producing the way I thought he would. 7 home runs, 32 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, 242 average, like I said. Backup WAR of 0.5. It is what it is. Definitely not worth the contract. I'm surprised he's just satisfied, but that probably comes with the fact that his contract is a lot bigger than he deserves. He thought he'd be platooning, and he got benched instead. Yeah, I just couldn't bench D speed. Daniel Descalso, 70 overall, D potential went up, 33 years old, and just, I mean, he's got great plate discipline. That's the only thing he really has going for him, though. So in 26 games, he had 88 at-bats, 23 hits for 261 average, 2 home runs, 19 RBIs. This is absolutely replacement level. 0.7 WAR. Not worth that contract at all, but he's happy because he's making a lot more money than he should be. Hates the coaching, loves the team though. Good for him. Steven Souza Jr. is another one. Overall up to 66, but he doesn't really have much going for him. He's an okay hitter. Not a good fielder though, really. Got some pop against righties and then somewhat balanced against lefties. But just again, like what on a team full of outfielders, I had Schwarber, Happ, Hayward, D. Gordon can back up in center, Kipnis can back up in center, Almora out there. I think Descalso can also back up out there. Bodie out there. Yeah, so just not a lot of room for him on here. 32 games he played, 94 at-bats, 29 hits for a 309 average, 6 home runs, 14 RBIs, a stolen base. His OPS was pretty high for a small sample size, though. .5 WAR. I mean, that's a small contract, so I guess he's worth it. I don't know how I feel about him. He's angry, though. Thought he'd be platooning, he's benched, hates his contract, hates the coaching, does not like the region. Big fist, angry. David Bodie was a nice one, though. I was surprised with him. 26 years old, he got his overall up to 78. This is a kid I think he's going to be a solid piece. Probably a number 6 hitting outfielder, probably, because he's a solid fielder. And he's gonna get better. He's only 26. His overall 78, so I think he's got a chance to crack into gold and be good on another team when he goes elsewhere. He was my DH, not DH, but he was always in the lineup when there was a DH. Always he was like a super utility. You know, he played a lot of games because whenever someone had the day off, it was David Bodie. He could play first, second, third, short, left or right. He just couldn't play center field, which is kind of weird, but whatever. So he still played 130 games as a super utility. 342 at bats, 104 hits, 16 home runs, 55 RBIs, 8 stolen bags, 304 average, .915 OPS, pretty solid. WAR of 3.8. Worth the money this year, and I think worth that contract in general. Once he's free agency in 2025, he'll be 27, 28, 29, 30. So, you know, he has a chance to get paid. He's satisfied. Doesn't like that he's benched as opposed to platooning. I guess you could say because he didn't platoon specifically in a position. He's happy with his contract, so good for him. Ian Happ, this is one that was very interesting to me because his fielding's kind of meh. Speed's alright. Great plate discipline. And can hit righties. Only 25 years old with A potential. He can play second, third, left, center, or right. Solid hitter against righties. Getting better against lefties, but don't expect too much out of him. This is a kid that I think he's going to be a force against righties. I think he's going to turn into a top-tier hitter when it comes to right-handed pitching. If he can just get that left-handed pitching up a little bit, to make him not like a one-trick pony. And his fielding needs definitely some work too. You know, unless you put him at second base, he doesn't really have. He's not bad, but I don't know. There's better for sure. He started off the year as my center fielder, and then when I traded for Soler, he became my designated pinch hitter against righties, in the lineup against righties when there was DH, stuff like that. 122 games played. I mean, he still was great. 411 at-bats, 113 hits, 21 home runs, 76 RBIs, 7 stolen bags, 275 average, good OPS. Good for a WAR of 4.6. That's a very great performance out of him. Worth the money. Under team control for 2 more years. He's unhappy, though. He's thought he'd be platooning, but he's benched. And, God, my skin is so peely still. In some places, it's pretty damn bad. Not happy with his contract at all. But he definitely played up to it. Did he have 20 home runs? Yeah, 21 home runs. Yeah, he was very solid this year. D. Gordon, I don't know what his numbers were when I traded for him, but I needed a guy who, you know, contact hitting is an added bonus for D. Gordon. I needed a speed guy who was an okay fielder. Could play second, short, left, center, right. D. Gordon's finally got his ring. He's been traveling around. LA, Miami, Seattle, Chicago. The second I got him, I plugged him right into that leadoff spot against lefties and righties at second base. 114 games across both teams, 114 games played, 441 at-bats. 140 hits is pretty solid if you ask me. 32 doubles is a career high, it looks like. 6 home runs, which is actually a career high as well. 47 RBIs is a career high by 1. 30 stolen bases. I don't know how much of this was with us, but either way, he was still good for me. 317 average was very dependable. Good for a WAR of 1.8. I'm happy with him. Worth the trade. I'd say worth the money. He's happy. Thought he'd be platooning. He turned into a star on the team. Loves his contract. Just overall happy. Great at it. Great pickup. Speaking of great pickups, Jorge Soler got his overall up to 83. Went gold. Back home with the Cubs. Great power hitter. Worked on his contact a little bit. Not a good fielder though, but plugged him into right field and right into the cleanup spot the second I got him. Unless it was against lefties. Lefties he batted 5th. 161 games played between us and Kansas City, which he spent his career with Chicago and Kansas City. 650 at-bats, 191 hits, 43 home runs, 116 RBIs. About as advertised, 5 home runs less, but 1 RBI less. Strikeouts went down. 2 stolen bases. Average went up, though, 294 average, which is very good. OPS of 900 even. Good for WAR 3.2. Worth the trade, worth the contract. I'm happy. Maybe he'll stay in Chicago. He's happy. Everyday player. Loves his money. I think he'll get more. And I think hopefully he'll stay here. That'd be cool. Jay is an interesting one to me. He got his overall up to 84. Was he with the Cubs in 2016? He was. He was a 2-time champ. Still a solid bat against righties, but he really just not good against lefties. Great fielder. I did not know that. I didn't know Jason Hayward was that good of a fielder. I knew he was all right. It was fine. Like, not bad by any means. Didn't realize he was amazing. Those are great stats to have. He actually got better, though. His overall was 84, almost diamond. Looking here, he played 144 games. Excuse me. 148 hits. 20 home runs, 79 RBIs. Kind of surprising. 14 stolen bases, 310 average. Good for a WAR out in right field and center field of 5.2. This is the bottom of the lineup guy, too. He was always hitting 8th or 9th. So he cracked 20 home runs, 79 RBIs. I'm definitely satisfied with that. I don't think he was worth that money necessarily. Or for that much longer, but it is what it is. He's happy with it. Wilson Contreras. Huge improvements for Contreras. 86 overall, went diamond. Potential still A. He's only 27. Really good fielding catcher who's got solid speed and a great hitter who is going to get better. That's the scary part. He's going to get better. He was definitely great for me. Career year, 135 games behind the dish, 478 at-bats, 141 hits, career high. 37 home runs, career high. 105 RBIs, career high. 7 stolen bases, career high. 295 average, good for an OPS of .973. Good for a WAR behind the plate of 7.7. I could see people making a case for him being in the MVP discussion. Maybe, most likely not winning it. Especially because of the average. 100% worth his contract. Got 1 more year of arbitration. He's angry. That's the other thing too. His overall could have been 90, but he hates his contract, and I don't blame him. He hates the coaching, and I don't blame him. And he does not like that he has 0 compatriots from Venezuela on the team. But he is incredible, and he is going to get paid in 2022 for sure. He's got to be, in my mind, top 2 catcher with JT Realmuto in real life. In this game, he's probably got to be the best catcher because his hitting is just so damn good, and his fielding, the fielding stat itself isn't that anything special, but you don't really need that all too much as a catcher. You need the arm strength, the accuracy, and the blocking. And the fact that he's got speed too, and he's young. He's only 27. Kyle Schwarber is an interesting one to me too. I didn't realize he was only 27. A potential, got his overall up to 86. He's diamond. Can play left, center, right, or catch. Decent fielder. I wasn't expecting that. Great plate discipline, as good as you can get. A lot of power against righties. Can't hit lefties nearly as much as righties, but not bad against lefties. He carried the offense through the first half. 148 games played. He got 159 hits, 42 doubles, 32 home runs, 94 RBIs, swiped 3 bags, 296 average, OPS 979. Good for a WAR 5.5. Definitely above what's advertised for him. Career year. Actually not in the home run department at least, but in the hits and average department. Worth the contract. He's satisfied. Everyday player, making more money than he expected. I'm happy with him. He's probably going to... I don't know if he'd stay or go in free agency, but either way, he's got a ring. He's got 2 rings at that. He played 2 regular season games in 2016 and then played in the World Series. So, but he's got 2 rings. He was solid. Now we get to the best of the best. Javier Baez got his overall up to 92, diamond. Incredible hitter against lefties. Still very good hitter against righties. One of the best fielders in the game, period. And he's got some solid speed to boot. And he's going to get better. That's the thing. And Javi, 153 games, 602 at-bats, 168 hits, 36 home runs, a career high, 100 RBIs, 9 stolen bags, 279 average OPS. Well, OPS a little bit low compared to other people on the team. Good for a WAR at shortstop of 5.9. Javi can play second, short, third, or center. Worth the money, absolutely. He's going to get paid even more beyond that. He's unhappy. His overall could have been higher. He's unhappy with his contract and the coaching, obviously. Anthony Rizzo got his overall up to 86 and went diamond, 30 years old, the first baseman. Surprised me a little bit. I was expecting these numbers to be a little bit better against righties. Not that they're bad by any means. I was expecting these numbers to be worse against lefties. Rizzo's very well rounded at the dish. And he was actually really damn good. 148 games played, 176 hits, 37 home runs, a career high, 108 RBIs, one shy of his career high from 2016 and 17. Swiped 7 bags because why not? His 316 average looks like a career high. Good for a WAR over first base of 7.3. Worth the contract for sure. That's the thing with this Cubs team. This is like the closing of their window. As you look at these contracts, you owe Hayward a lot of money, who's on decline. Look, let's take a look through here, actually. Everyone, for that matter. Let me start at the bottom. Caratini, you got him under control, so he's got a chance to get better. Kipnis is walking, and you just paid him a lot of money for nothing. Descalso's walking. Well, I mean, not walking, but, you know, they have the chance to. Souza could be gone. Bodie's fine. You got Bodie on lock, and he's got great potential. He's got solid potential. He's got a good overall already. You got Ian Happ for 2 more years team control. D. Gordon, you trade for him, he could be gone. Soler, you trade for him, he could be gone. You owe Hayward a lot of money. Contreras has 1 more year arbitration. Schwarber, he's set to become a free agent. Baez, set to become a free agent. Rizzo, set to become a free agent. And I know Chris Bryant, I believe, has 1 more year. No, Chris Bryant also set to become a free agent. Rizzo's unhappy. He thought he was going to be a star, and he's not. For some reason. He hates his contract. He's definitely going to get paid. I mean, you could definitely pay these guys, too. Like, you obviously have the option to pay these guys and bring a couple of them back. But are you willing? If not, your team's going to look a hell of a lot different. Rizzo was definitely huge for me, though. I'd say he's in the MVP talks more than Baez is. It all comes down to the last but not least, Chris Bryant. Got his overall up to 95. A potential, he's only 28. He can play first, third, left, center, or right. One of the best in the game at this point now. Great hitter against righties, an amazing hitter against lefties, even though his numbers against lefties went down. Decent fielder, solid speed, and I think that's the thing, I didn't really have anyone stand out for MVP. Like, I think Rizzo and Baez might get talked about, but I don't think they even make top 3 necessarily, because there's always some crazy shit. Pitching, some of my pitchers might make it, don't get me wrong, but usually I have some offensive guys, and with this offense, I definitely thought I'd have something. I think, you know, when I do my beginner run, it'll be a whole different story. Chris Bryant, 176 hits, 32 home runs, 97 RBIs, 4 stolen bags, 308 average, good for a WAR over at third base of 5.5. He's set to become a free agent. He's happy, though. He's a star. He likes his contract. So we'll see what happens with this team. MVP, if it's anyone on my team, it's going to be a pitcher. Cy Young, definitely going to get that. I'm just not sure who. Quintana, Darvish, Kluber, maybe. I don't know anything about the postseason awards, though, so let's continue in franchise. What time is it? Oh, shit, it's 3:19. Let's take a look at my postseason run. That Mets series was interesting. We swept the Dodgers in 3, +4, +6, +9, +13, +18. It looks like we were going to dominate the series after those first 2 games, +18. +17, +16. Those are some close losses, too, at that. 17, 16, 3-0, so 19, 22, can't math right now, 23, 24, 2 close games there, 34, and then 38. So plus 38 run differential in the postseason. Oh, one thing I did not look at that I have to look at here, I believe. Our wheel, top right corner, we ended up being 3rd ranked overall. We went up to 5th in contact, 2nd in power, 3rd in pitching, 14th defense, 11th in speed. Very well-rounded team for the most part. Offense and pitching being the priority. Top 5 in those 3 categories there. Number 1 being, I'm guessing, New York. Number 2 being, I'm guessing, LA. Yeah. So, as expected. Cool. So we'll take a look at the awards. World Series MVP was Kyle Schwarber, 500 average, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. Didn't really have anyone stand out in the World Series either. LCS / postseason MVP goes to Wilson Contreras, 395 average, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. Javi Baez finishing 2nd. Silver Sluggers, maybe I'll have a Silver Slugger somewhere. Baez finished 2nd at shortstop, makes sense. Bryant finished 3rd at 3rd. I kind of disagree because his average was 20 points higher. And his home runs was kind of close. His RBIs were kind of close. I don't know, maybe. Let's see. Contreras at catcher makes sense. Kluber finished 2nd for pitcher because it was 10 RBIs. And he came across halfway through the season. Gold Glovers, man, I don't really see myself getting a Gold Glove. Maybe Baez. Nope, not Baez. No one. No Gold Gloves. Alright, is what it is. No Hank Aaron Award. No Rookie of the Year. Reliever of the Year, Kimbrel finished 2nd, so these two back at it for going at it in the NL for Reliever of the Year award. And I think Henley deserved it more than Kimbrel. More saves. ERA is about the same. Strikeouts, I guess it makes sense. Batting title went to Trevor Story. Cy Young goes to Corey Kluber with Yu Darvish finishing 2nd, DeGrom finishing 3rd. Seems like fair to me. MVP goes to Kluber, and then Darvish finishing 2nd. Wow. So I did get the MVP, even if I disagree. And the AL side, Yordan Alvarez, because this game sucks as cock. And that's that. Finally finishing the Cubs in a very whelming run. I have one contender left. That would be the Cubs. They switched it. Oh my god, they switched this shit again in the update. Why does it look like there's one less favorite? I know there's not. Oh, they switched the order, that's why. So, looks like the long shots are all in the same spot. Let me pull this up quick. It's crazy to me that they moved the Diamondbacks to contenders. Who got bumped? The Phillies got bumped to underdogs, which doesn't surprise me. I don't think the Phillies are contenders. I don't think the Diamondbacks are either. But that's kind of wild to me. I don't think the Cardinals are either. I think the Cardinals are very overrated. Let me go back to the beginning of my Cubs run. So they changed it twice now since the start of the year. If I go back to the start of my Cubs run, I can see what the ranking was here. Okay, so the long shots went Orioles, Tigers, Mariners, Giants. They swapped the Blue Jays and the Pirates because it went Blue Jays, Mariners, Pirates. Now it goes Pirates, Blue Jays, Mariners, or not Mariners, Marlins. So it went Blue Jays, Marlins, Pirates. Now it's Pirates, Blue Jays, Marlins. So I kind of rotated everyone a little bit there. I think the Blue Jays deserve to be higher than the Marlins. I'm kind of surprised the Marlins are the top of the long shots. Then it went Kansas City, Colorado, Milwaukee was below Texas. Now Texas, Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee definitely belongs above Texas. So it went Milwaukee, Texas. Then it went Boston. So Philly went all the way down to there, which I think is actually kind of fitting. Then on here went so Boston, Anaheim. So that's where the White Sox are now. The White Sox were where the Red Sox are. So the White Sox went down. The Angels went up because it went Angels, White Sox, Diamondbacks up there. So now it's White Sox, Red Sox, Angels. I might argue that the Red Sox are better than the Angels because of their lineup, but I mean, because the Angels have no one for pitching too, like even in the bullpen. Not that the Red Sox really do either, but I mean, I don't know. And then in the contenders category, it went Phillies, which is now the Diamondbacks, the A's, which is now the Cardinals, the Reds, which is now the A's, the Padres, which is now the Reds, the Cardinals, which is now the Padres, the Rays, which is now the Mets, the Cubs, which is now the Rays, and the Mets, which is now the Cubs. I think it's tough to say some of those teams are contenders because like San Diego's kind of unproven, Cincinnati's kind of unproven. I think St. Louis is sure as fuck overrated. They don't have like a lineup at all, really. I think Arizona's definitely overrated now. They're not contenders. I think Oakland is fine. I think they need starting pitching though. They got a great, solid bullpen and a great lineup. I think Tampa's proven. They made the postseason last year, and they've actually been one of the better teams in the last decade.
When the As have no one for pitching, they have Ohtani. He throws 1-0-0 and hits tanks.
I'm sorry, I missed the Angels. That really sounds like I didn't realize my mic sounded that terrible. Jesus. Okay, let me turn my stream down. What do you mean the A's have no one for pitching? They have Ohtani. He throws 108 tanks. I'm guessing by that you mean the Angels. Yeah, but I'm talking like in game. Because the thing with Ohtani is he was solid in 2018 as a pitcher. He just didn't pitch all that much. And then he had Tommy John, so he missed all of 2019. So we don't really know how he's going to be as a pitcher in, say, the world's normal right now, and the season's almost halfway through. We don't know how he would be. He's definitely got great potential to be a stud. Don't get me wrong, and he does hit tanks. You're absolutely right. He's a solid hitter. In this game, though, his numbers are always terrible, and I disagree with that. I don't think they should be. But whenever I look at him, his ERA is always north of 6, which is terrible. So I don't know how it's weird. I don't know why the game does that, but I think Cincinnati and San Diego do have potential to be right where they are, but they're so unproven you don't know. They've made improvements and they're getting better, but I don't know. I think New York, I think the Mets belong there, the Rays belong there, and the Cubs belong right where they are. I would argue that the Mets might be the best of those three teams up there, at least again in real life, because their rotation, if healthy, that is the biggest thing for the Mets. If they're healthy, that's such a huge, because if they're not healthy, I think that is right where they belong, below the Rays and the Cubs. The favorites used to be the Twins, which is still the Twins, the Braves. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Whoops. I knew that was wrong. So the favorites category used to go the Braves, which is now the Twins, the Indians, which is now the Braves, the Twins, which is now the Indians, the Nationals are right where they are, the Astros are right where they are, the Dodgers right there, the Yankees right there. I don't know how I feel about some of those too. Like I feel like they have to be favorites because they're division leaders. I think the Yankees are going to win the AL East, obviously. The Dodgers will win the NL West, obviously. The Astros most likely win the NL or the AL West.
The Reds definitely belong in contenders.
The Reds don't belong in. See, that's the thing. I think they have potential to belong in contenders. I don't think they do off the jump, but I think that they've got a solid pitching, better than you suspect. I can't talk. Better than you would suspect. That's the right word. My God, it's late. Pitching rotation. I think they need to work on their bullpen, but they have a solid lineup. You got a rotation of Luis Castillo, Trevor Bauer, Sonny Gray, Anthony DeSclafani. Those four right there. That's a solid pitching rotation right there. And the back end of their bullpen can be all right with Pedro Strop, Michael Lorenzen, and Raisel Iglesias. And their lineup is good too. They picked up Castellanos in the offseason, solid hitter. Suarez was one of the league leaders in home runs last year. Joey Votto's got the veteran presence, and he's still a decent bat. Who else did they have? Mike Moustakas, that's another pickup they got. He's solid. So their lineup's not bad. They're just unproven. Like I said, they definitely have potential to not be where they are, but I think they also have a lot of potential to be exactly where they are. I don't think they should be high in contenders. I think right in the middle. I think they're better than Arizona. I think Arizona's overrated. I think they're better than St. Louis. I don't think St. Louis really has that good of a lineup. You could probably argue that Oakland belongs in front of Cincinnati, but other than that, I don't think any team below Cincinnati belongs above them. I don't know why, but something about the Nationals and the Indians, and the Twins to an extent. The Twins had the most home runs in a single season ever last year. They set that record. Juice balls or not, their lineup was still impressive. So I think they have probably the most powerful lineup in the league. But there's something about their pitching. It doesn't seem good enough to be a favorite. They have decent pitching, starting rotation-wise at least. I don't know too much about their bullpen yet. I haven't played as them. But from what I remember, their pitching just scares me a little bit in the sense of, like, how are they a favorite? And the same could be said for the Braves. I think the Braves, are very well-rounded, but something about them seems off about them. Same with the Indians. The Indians have still really good rotation. I don't know too much about their bullpen. Their lineup is very hit
Nationals
or miss.
Losing Rendon hurts bad.
Right, that's the other thing. I don't think the Nationals belong where they are now. I don't think the Nationals could be a favorite again. I think they're there just because they won the World Series last year, and they still have Strasburg and Scherzer and Soto, but after that, they lost. Rendon was an MVP candidate last year. I think he finished third in the MVP voting. And you lose that. That's going to be a significant hit to your lineup. So now their lineup, they have Juan Soto and Eric Thames as like their main sources of power. You need to hope that Scherzer and Strasburg continue to pitch well, which I think they will. Don't get me wrong, but who else do they have in their rotation? Anibal Sanchez, he's not going to get any better. Patrick Corbin is all right, but I think they've got a solid rotation, and I don't know much about their bullpen, but I believe it was been their main problem the last few years.
Ryan Zimmerman can still hit tanks, but he is old.
Yeah, Zimmerman's old. He can hit tanks still, but his average is probably on the decline. So he's going to hit him, but he's not going to hit him as often. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. The Nationals being there as the fourth, but like we're looking at the top 5 where the Nationals are fourth. I think the Twins belong above them because of their lineup, and then maybe the Indians do as well. I think it's tough to say because they went on such a hot run from the end of May onward, which is the majority of the season. Don't get me wrong, but like they didn't win their division. The NL East, if you ask me, belongs to the Braves. So it's weird to have a team that finished behind the Braves last year. The Nationals won the wild card, and then they lost their second best or their first best player, depending on how you look at it. But they lost one of their top players in Rendon. Whereas the Braves, granted, the Braves lost Donaldson, but he wasn't that huge of an impact on them. So the Braves didn't really get too much worse. And they got a lot of young kids that are getting better, whereas the Nationals really, don't get me wrong, Juan Soto's young, he's going to get better, but I think the Braves belong above them. I think my problem with New York being number 1 is I don't feel the best about their pitching. I think LA has a little bit of a better rotation still, even after losing.
If the As had better starting pitching, they would be a favorite.
If the I gotta look at your comment. I missed that one. If the A's had better starting pitching, yeah, I think absolutely. I agree with that for sure. Because they got a solid lineup. They absolutely have a solid lineup. So if they could just get something for starting pitching, which sucks because I figured they probably would have made a move or two in the offseason starting pitching wise, and they really didn't. Not that I can recall of, at least. They were making moves on Garrett Cole for a little bit. They were making moves on Ryu for a little bit. And those are two guys that I think both finished second in Cy Young voting in their respective leagues. Cole in the AL, Ryu in the NL. And I think Cole should have won it. I don't think Verlander deserved the Cy Young last year. I think it should have been Garrett Cole. As much as I don't really like Garrett Cole. But yeah, so it just sucks. Like they had these moves. Oh, and they were moving in on Zach Wheeler for a little bit, I believe, too. I don't know if that was last year or the year before, but they didn't end up with him.
Just Dante have the money to go after Garrett Cole.
Yeah, that's the thing. They just didn't have the money for him, which sucks because like that's I want to see that team succeed. I really do. I think I've always been like a they're like I'm a Red Sox fan through and through. Don't get me wrong, but like I love the game of baseball as a whole, so I can find something about most teams to enjoy, and I think that's definitely a team that I've been enjoying for a while. They've always been one of my well, if the Sox aren't going to win it, I got to start looking at other options. Who am I going to support? Late in the season or making a postseason push, and they're always one that I would like to see do well outside of, obviously every year I say, oh, hopefully the Red Sox win the World Series. If they don't, what are teams I'll be okay with? And they're definitely one that I'm happy with. Let's see. So who's next for me? I got the Mets coming up next.
These are always competitive.
Yeah, but it's but at the same time, they are competitive, but they also, like, they haven't gone far at all in the, God, I can't remember the last time they had a postseason push. What was it? 2014? Was it 2014? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, so it's weird that the Mets got bumped down to 10. So I'm back down to 10th overall as opposed to 8th. I wonder if my Cubs run would have been any better. It was a very underwhelming run after this update that made them better.
You're right, they just don't have the pitching to go deep in postseason, but I really like their management.
I think they're managed well, yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I think it sucks that they don't have the money. Because if they did, again, with that lineup and with good managing, good handling, because that's the thing, pitching wins in the postseason, almost always. Very rarely do you see a team not have good pitching win at all. Just thinking back on the last few years, the Nationals pitching really carried them in the World Series. The Sox offense was great, don't get me wrong, but their pitching really stepped up in October. Fuck the Astros. The Cubs, I don't really remember much about their pitching, but I know that the Royals in 2015, their pitching was huge. The Giants, I mean, fuck, they won it because Madison Bumgarner put the team on his back. The Sox in 2013, our pitching was pretty damn good. Our offense was pretty solid too, though. That carried us. 2012, the Giants pitching stifled the Tigers. So that's the last 8 World Series right there, 7 World Series, whatever. It's very pitching oriented. So if you're not going to be able to have the money for pitchers, then it's going to be very tough. Not impossible, but definitely improbable. So I'm looking forward to the Mets, though, for sure. The last of my contenders. Definitely a lot to be looking forward to, like guys like DeGrom, Syndergaard. Syndergaard's hurt, so he's going to spend the year in the minors, I believe. But DeGrom, solid bullpen, solid lineup, too. Their lineup's a little bit better than I anticipated. And I also have to do one last thing. It's customary for me at the end of every run to hop into Diamond Dynasty really quick, take a look at my inventory, and open up any packs I earned from the start of my run to the end of my run. I don't like opening these ones, though, because they're choice oriented, and I never know who to pick because I'm not focusing on Diamond Dynasty right now. And I believe I already have that Kluber card. I honestly don't even know. So I don't even want to do these ones, or even the silver and bronzes. Actually, I'll do the silver and bronzes because I'm picking 2. So I'll just go through and do this until I have one of each. Coppin, Eddie Murray, and Christy Mathewson, sure. And then Jimmy Fox. There's that. I'm not going to do that one. Headliner 10 pack. Interesting. Ooh, McCollus is not bad. Tyler Chatwood, I just used him on my Cubs run. Hector Neris, not bad. 4 last year's Cubs players, 2 bronze, 2 silver. Alec Mills, he was alright for me. Tyler Chatwood, another one. Jose Quintana was definitely good. And Jason Hayward, alright. Not bad, not bad. And then 2 regular packs, which have Baez on the cover, so hopefully we'll get something good since this is the end of my Cubs run. Silver, alright, David Fletcher. One last pack. I haven't really got anything good lately. I think I did get 1 gold. Ooh, a diamond sponsorship. Not that I really care about that because I haven't played franchise in years. Darwinson Hernandez, always good to see a Sox player. Current Sox players at least. And Dallas Keuchel. Yep, nothing special. Alright, well, I'm out of here. It is
You
late.
have 72000 stubs. You can literally get an all-diamond team with that amount of stubs.
I could,
Cards
but
are cheap right now because they started Ray.
Wait, what? Hold on. Let me take a look. Oh, they started releasing the 99s. Right, that is, I forgot about that. Let's see if I filter out. Nah, I won't filter anything. I'll just take a look through. Yeah, wow, look at some of these cards. I mean, some of these cards are still very expensive, but yeah, they really did put out a lot of hype. Sixto Sanchez. Haven't seen that name in a while. I don't like just straight up buying cards, though, and I don't like buying packs either, per se. Obviously, Mike Trout's still going to be very expensive. What I normally do is I'll just kind of grind out, like, once I finish all the March to Octobers, I'll probably go through and do the, whatchamacallit, Conquests. I love playing Conquests, so I haven't touched any of them. Definitely be fun to go through all these ones. What? It says something dad. Oh, number 1 dad. Okay, yeah, that'll be fun to play. But that's gonna do it for me. It's late. It's 3:40 in the morning. I will be back tomorrow, starting anew with the New York Mets. Last of the contenders, and it's on to the favorites. I'm out.